Hi there, I hope you're all well. Thank you for tuning in to yet another video. It's an impromptu one today, but it's one I've been wanting to record for a little while as I've been accumulating some inexpensive accessories in keeping with the dressing up of the S4 within a budget. So the purpose of today's video is to walk you through those items that I've purchased, and all being well, bring the car in and install at least one of them during the course of this video. So the first items that I've got are black S4 badges. This one obviously is the rear badge that's going to go on the boot lid. I'm hoping there's not too much reflection and the camera's picking it up reasonably well there. The front badge, as you can see here, it's not a genuine Audi item, so this is actually one with like a backing plate and some butterfly clips that secure the backing plate to the grille, and then the actual S4 emblem would then stick to that backing plate. So I'm actually hoping that I can get this fitted to the car without having to remove the grille or disassemble anything to do it. It looks like I should be able to. We'll see when we come to doing that one. The other item I have here are some app style decorative ear intakes. I'm going to use the word decorative rather than fake. Fake's probably a little bit harsh when you consider that most manufacturers, the likes of Audi, BMW, still fit decorative items to their car. Case in point would be the Audi RS4 and the BMW M3 Touring, both having decorative intakes fitted to their car. So this one's actually a pretty good likeness for the apt RS4 Plus, RS4R and RS4S cars. Please excuse the noise, I've got a neighbour who's just about to go out for his lunch by the sound of it, so you might hear his van go past. But in any case, these are a very good likeness. Obviously they're not functional, they'll just stick onto the side of the car. There are actually, as you'd expect, a pair of those. Now they do have an RS sticker on them. I believe that does come off, so when I come to fit those on the car I will be removing the sticker. I haven't actually managed to find an S or an S4 sticker that could replace that, certainly not in these dimensions, so I'll possibly be looking for something else or having one made eventually, but when I initially fit these to the car, that will be removed, so there'll just be a black rectangle there. Last but not least, or at least for today, I actually have some black mirror caps. Now, being an S4, as you no doubt know, my car comes with the silver or aluminium coloured mirror caps, are typical to Audi S and RS models. Given my car is red and predominantly with black trim, I've decided that I want the mirror caps to follow that theme, and therefore I'm going to fit these black mirror caps to the car, and these are what I'm actually going to attempt to fit today. So nice finished in gloss black. Obviously my car has a gloss black grille, the diffuser at the rear is gloss black, if you can call it a diffuser, and black trim around the windows. So I think this will finish the car off nicely with the badging and with obviously these app style decorative air breathers that are going to go on the front wings of the car. So what I'll do now is I'll pause the video here, I'll bring the car in, and we'll attack these door mirrors. Okay, so now the car is in the warehouse. I'm going to try and show you how to change or first of all to remove the stock door mirror covers on your B8 or B8.5 Audi A4, S4, RS4, and how to replace them with the new ones. So this might not be the most polished video, but hopefully it will help you in doing that job if you ever choose to do so. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to fold the mirror away from the car. That gives us a better angle to work with. And then I'm going to install a phone holder, screen mount. This will help with removing the mirror safely without breaking it. So I'm going to put that right in the center there. Lock it on. So it's got a nice tight grip on that. I'm then going to push the mirror in towards the window here. That leaves me room around the side here to get my finger in behind to pry the mirror glass out. So you're going to take the phone mount in one hand and pull, finger in behind the other one, and hopefully we should be able to keep an even pressure on that mirror glass. Nice, and it will come out without too much problem, he says. So what I'm going to try and do is use my makeshift pry tool, get in behind the glass, because what you have is two prongs, one on each side of the mirror, which go into clips within the mirror housing. I think I've got this one free. It's this one that's proving difficult at the moment. Okay, that seems to have freed up a bit. It's not completely let go yet. I think there's a bit of a hook on at the bottom there. Try and get lower down to free that up. Okay, that seems to have been freed up, so I'll try and just work it out with our hands now, if we can. Okay, that I think is that. Okay, so now we need to remove the mirror plugs. Now what I would suggest doing is identifying each one so that you put them back on the right way. Now I don't have a marker, I'm going to let that dangle just for a second, but I do have some masking tape. Okay, so we're going to cover one side with masking tape, and once that connector's off, I'll cover the male side. Now what I suggest you do is hold down so you don't rip that off completely. Hold down, pinch that between your forefinger on the mirror side, your thumb on the connector side, and just work it gently back and forth until eventually it will let go. Some of these could be on very tight. The thing we don't want to do is go too crazy and damage them. That seems to be loosening a little bit now. Okay, that's one. And what I'll do is I'll immediately cover that with some masking tape. Well, in fact, I know it's the right hand side, but I'll put some tape on it anyway, just for completeness. And that way we'll have no surprises later. I don't actually know that it matters if they're the opposite ways around or not, but I'd rather put them back how they were. Okay, so we're going to try and work this one off. Well, that's come off much easier, and there we are, the mirror's completely free. And now we can start disassembling the motor. Okay, so the main screw inside the motor here is a torque screw. It's a T10. So we're going to locate that and gently free it up. Now the motor mount does actually clip in slightly as well, so you'll probably have to give it a little bit of a tug to free it completely. We'll put the screw somewhere safe in the meantime. Okay, so now we need to remove the motor from its collector. Now this is slightly difficult. It's got two tabs. I'm not sure if you can see them. A tab here which on either side which holds that connector in place, and you need to kind of open up that those tabs and prise the connector out. Now, having done the other mirror, I almost got it out without breaking the tab, but unfortunately in the end it did get broken. In fact, actually, I've just told you it has two tabs on it. It looks like both tabs are broken, so it potentially means that this mirror has been out at some point or off the car at some point already. So I'm just going to try and gently pry out the connector, free it up a little bit, and then pry it out, work it out. Yeah, so as I said, you would typically have, not sure if that's easy to see, a tab here, a tab there that would grip that connector, but it looks like this has been off already at some point, and therefore there were no tabs, which made my job a bit easier this time, but there you go. Now typically there are a bunch of screws to remove, and as I discovered with the other mirror on the other side, there would be two screws here. Those appear to have, the heads appear to be snapped off those, so there's no screws holding that. There would be screws holding up here as well, and in here. So it looks like, as per the other mirror, it looks like somebody has been behind the scenes on this car and either removed or changed the mirrors or the mirror caps at some point. And some of the screws obviously were broken and damaged, and they've not managed to get them out. They should be screws all in there. Most of them would be Torx screws, here, 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 there on the bottom, and this one at the top here apparently would be a Phillips screw, but that is also missing. So now I think we can get to trying to removing the actual mirror cover itself. This bit is it's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of patience as well. What I've noticed here with this one, there would normally be a tab on the bottom part of the mirror here, the black part. There would normally be a tab here that would hold the mirror housing in place. On the passenger side mirror on the right hand side, this is the left hand drive car by the way, so on the passenger side mirror, that tab is in place, and it was a bit of a bugger to work around. It looks like whoever worked on this previously snapped that tab off completely, so that's going to cause us a bit less of a problem. So I'm now going to get around to trying to remove this cover. Again, a plastic pry tool is recommended for this job. I don't happen to have any to hand. What I do have is these tools that you would use typically to remove tyres off your bike if you've got a puncture. So they're going to come in handy for this job. Okay, so given that that tab is not there to hold the mirror in, hopefully I should be able to free this up a little bit easier than on the other side. So let's see, should be able to push the black plastic, this underside, down whilst lifting the mirror cover cap forward. You can see, you could hear that sort of let go almost straight away there. Okay, so you can see there's a bit of play, a bit of movement. So this side is actually working itself off that bit easier. Now, they typically say, I'll just show you something here, that you should try and get your pry tools in under here, underneath the indicator,
to push this matte black section down whilst prying the mirror housing, the case, upwards to free it. So this one seems to be playing ball for the moment as it is, so I'm not going to use the pry tool just yet. I'm just going to see if I can work it out. Okay, what I might do is try and take advantage of that little gap that I've got here and put a tool in there for the time being. So we can maintain that gap as it is. I'm not sure if you can see, it's actually starting to separate at the bottom there. There are 2 tabs in here. One, if I can find a little screwdriver. So, one tab here, which needs to go back and drop through. And I think there is another one, but it's behind the framework for the motor housing, and that one definitely you will need to push through from the outside of the mirror. So I'll try and work this one down first of all, push it back, that's it. So that one's letting go now. That's it, so that one's prepared to let go. Okay. I think that one will drop through naturally when we get a bit more movement in the mirror. What I'm actually going to do at the same time is, whilst I am in behind the mirror, underneath the indicator here, is move my my tool along behind the indicator and try and open up this this gap here. That's it. You can hear that's starting to separate and unclip. In fact, I can probably show you this one quickly. That clip is now pretty much dropped through under here, so that one is going to be free or come out without any problem. So we're going to now try and get back to this side. Probably going to need to use all 3 of my tools here to open this up. I actually did use a screwdriver to do the last part of this beforehand, because probably these tools that I've got are unfortunately a little bit too fat. So what I did, I managed to get a screwdriver in there. Try and do it carefully and gently so as not to damage the existing mirror covers, because potentially somebody might want to buy those. Lost one of those. Okay, so that's starting to free itself up now, so I think we might be able to work this by hand, if I'm lucky. Turn that back away for easier access, and we'll try to work this out all together. So you should push down on the black here and pull upwards and away with the mirror trim, and that should work itself out. We've created enough okay, that's 3, and I've lost my trim tool, but in any case the mirror housing is now completely free. Now I don't know if there are other types of gubbings going on in the mirror that you know, I may not have on mine, but as far as I can tell, that's all you need to free up the mirror housing. Now, the one thing we want to do is some people remove the indicator plug here and take the indicator off and reinstall them on the new mirror casing. I was fortunately able to just detach the indicator from directly from the other mirror because it didn't have any screws in either. However, this one does appear to. That appears to be one just here. And that might be it looking at it, so I'm going to remove that. I believe it's also a T10 Torx, so let's remove that one. Okay, so that's that one gone. Just check to see if I can find another. Three. Yep. So it looks like this must be the other one, just at the top here. Can't see any others beyond those two, so. And with that, we should be able to remove the indicator completely from the mirror casing. So, if that works or not. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there's our indicator. Here's our original mirror casing. Okay, now we're going to go for the reinstall or the installation of the replacement mirror casings. Okay, so first things first, we're obviously going to have to put the indicator back into the new mirror casing. Screw that into position. So we're just going to line up the holes first of all. Okay, let's get that first one in place. And then the second one should automatically be lined up. Seems to be fine. Let's see if we offer that up, how it goes. Okay, that's fine. Right, now, one thing that we need to be aware of is to ensure that these connectors are not trapped as we start to replace the mirror housing. So we're going to offer that up gently over the frame. Okay. Now, one thing to be aware of is you do have two guides here, or two tabs here that need to drop down into these guides, like so. Okay. Now that will make this seem a little bit stiff and like it's not going to work, but it will actually line up as you push down. And it should just clip into place. Just making sure that I'm happy that everything is currently in the right spot. There we go, and as we push down, everything should clip back nicely together. Now, one part that is a difficult part, not sure if you can see it here, is that underneath here now this isn't quite aligned, and this is why a lot of people actually end up snapping the tab that's here to free up a bit of a movement in the casing, so it fits over. I actually managed to do it with a fine flat blade screwdriver on the other side, but I might try this time just with a bit of elbow grease, excuse me, just hit the camera, to just feed that over naturally if I can. And then there's no risk to anything. So it's just this side here that I need to find a bit of room. It seems to be coming back into place. No need for the screwdriver. Right, so that's all lined up nicely. Just one last little bit to clip in here. If I can get it to the slight gap. I can just pull it out, feed it around again. Or it might well be screwdriver time. Oh no, there we go. Just work your way around all of it just to make sure that everything is fitting nicely together. A little gap at the back here. That's it, so that's pushed down. Okay, and I think that's it. Yeah, everything seems to be sat nicely in place. Okay, fantastic. So the mirror casing is now back on. That didn't take a huge amount of time. I think without taking this black piece off, which some guides do tell you to do that, that's taken about what, 15 minutes, something like that. So it's not too difficult to do, or too long, should I say. Okay, so this connector, I believe, has also been off at some point, and I can see there's a green paint mark here. I mean, realistically, you don't need it because the connector is shaped, so it can only go one way, but they're also numbered 1, 2 and 3. I'm not sure you'll be able to see that. Typically it's the red wire that goes to number 1, but as I say, the connector is shaped a certain way. There's only one way it can fit into the plug, so we'll go ahead and pop that in. Okay, so that's nice and secure in there. Make sure that that's pointing to where the wires are, so that when you slot it back into position, it's not pulling on the wires, and you know it is as it was when you took it off. Now we're going to offer up the torque screw and secure the motor. Okay. Alright, so now the motor's in place. All we have to do is replace the mirror. So what I'm going to do is put on the first one. That doesn't have the masking tape on. And then now we're free to remove the masking tape, so we can refit the other connector in the right order. Okay, so both connectors are now attached. These are the two tabs that I was telling you about, which slot into these clips. Not sure if you can see them here and here, and they were a bit of a bugger for me to get off earlier on this one. On the other one it was much simpler, and the rest will clip on like a typical door mirror does. So the first thing I'm going to do is line up the tabs with those two clips. Yeah, those absolutely want to be in the right spot. And then push the mirror into place firmly. And then we can remove our phone mount. And I think we can call it job done. That mirror, we'll just make sure it is nice and securely in there. Pop the mirror back into position. And that is that. So I do hope that that's been a useful guide for you. You never know what you might find when you're working with a second-hand car. On the other side, I had absolutely no screws to remove, apart from the motor mount, the motor itself. On this side, obviously, I had the screws to remove the indicator, so it looks like the mirrors or the mirror housings have been off at some point before. But now we have gloss black mirrors which go with the rest of the car, so I'm happy with that. And hopefully that's helped anyone that's looking to do the job to know how to do it, what you might come across, and make your life a bit easier. So thank you very much for watching. If you did like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I hope to see you on the next one.